dying of, you are on a ship adrift at sea, there is water everywhere, but not a drop to drink. Okay, and the only thing you have on board the ship is a casket of wine. Can you drink the wine to stave off death from starvation / thirst? Yes. Why? The normal rules of the Sharia are put on hold in order to preserve your life, because the preservation of life takes priority. It is an immediate necessity. That is the meaning of darura. Beneath that, you have something called haja. And haja means there is an overriding need that does not rise to the level of a necessity. Okay? So a person, for example, who has a chronic health condition, who cannot afford the medication, it's not going to impact on, let's take diabetes as an example, okay? And they need a certain type of medication, let's just say Ozempic, since we're on it, since it's the thing at the moment, Ozempic, which is, was devised originally for type 2 diabetes, right? You have this, but then you have other less good forms of management of diabetes, for example. Immediately, it's not going to make a difference. It's not going to kill the person if they don't get the super duper treatment today. But in 20 years' time, in 30 years' time, what effect will it have? Alright? That's called haja, where there is a need that a person, an overriding need that may lead to, and the way the ulama use this is a darura, necessity, makes the ordinarily impermissible permissible. Haja allows for the adoption of a less strong legal opinion over a stronger legal opinion. So there are a range of legal opinions. Some are strong, some are weak. Because of a haja, you may take a dispensation of adopting a weaker legal position in order to fulfill the need of that person. And the last level, which you don't hear that often, is called the tahsiniyya. And tahsiniyya is something that is an accoutrement of life, something that would be nice. Okay? So your haja, to put simply, your darura is oxygen. Oxygen is a darura. Okay? A balanced diet is a haja. Okay? The lovely pastries and burfis and biscuits that you have outside is a tahsiniyya. Right? Then no harm is going to come to you if you don't acquire it, but it makes life enjoyable. Okay? Now here we've had, I think, questions, for example, about cosmetic surgery and these sorts of things. This would be considered, unless it's for like cleft palate or something, cosmetic surgery. I want to go on Ozempic because can you get me onto Ozempic in my medical aid because I want to lose weight and have a really nice figure, right? As all the guys know, right? We all want to have nice figures, guys, right? Okay? Or I want to have Botox. Guys, come on, seriously, right? But I want to have Botox because I want to lift my cheekbones and so forth. This is a tahsiniyya, right? And tahsiniyya does not permit any form of legal jiggery-pokery, you might say, all right? So another approach that you can take here is as medical professionals, is the idea, is this a necessity? Is this a necessity? Is this a pressing need that this person has, or is it something that is better? Coming back to, you wondering where I'm going with this, right? The answer to this, the way I would approach, I should say, answering this question of if the healthcare system, in a particular thing, and you all know your fields better, but if the healthcare where a particular thing was concerned in the public sector was not much below the level of private, the patient might have to wait a bit longer. They might have to go and sit in Paddington Hospital or in something along those lines to get that treatment and so forth. But fundamentally, they get the same sort of treatment either way. This is their usage of they're asking you to bend the rules, break the rules of medical aids in order to get it faster, to get the name brand drug rather than the generic drug, for example. This would be a tahsiniyya. And a tahsiniyya would not permit this kind of bending of the contractual rules. A haja, that's a different matter. A darura, all bets are off at that point. So hopefully that is one way of looking at this. So at the moment, if you're looking at your public healthcare system, you're looking at the private, and you're looking at the gulf between them, and you say, well, this is ridiculous. As I said at the beginning, and it may be it may be a stereotype or a caricature, okay, but you wouldn't send your worst enemy into the public healthcare system. Well, you're talking about quite a difference if that healthcare system were to improve. And what is that? This is where I come back to the idea of the individual and the collective. As clinical professionals, we should be supportive of the improvement of the public healthcare system on a long-term basis, okay? Rather than contributing to the degradation of the public healthcare system in order to enrich ourselves because we get more money from people than from medical aid. I'll make it easy.
Well, I just want to add to that quickly. I mean, there are some sentiments that we have to be real about on the ground, and all of us know that sometimes there are procedures and remuneration that we don't necessarily get the full amount for our worth. So if you're doing